Have you ever found yourself in one of those moments where a perfectly innocent, everyday English phrase just, well, it throws you completely off balance. Maybe you're at a cafe trying to order or, navigating directions in a new city, and a simple string of words suddenly feels less like a conversation and more like a linguistic riddle.
Yeah, you don't have the key.
Exactly. You nod along, you're smiling politely, but inside your head, there's this frantic voice asking, wait, what does that really mean, like, right now?
Oh, absolutely. It's an incredibly common experience, and honestly, it's one of the most fascinating bits about language.
Right.
English, I mean, for all its global reach, is just teeming with these layers.
Yeah.
Phrases that look straightforward, almost, transparent,
Yeah.
but actually conceal depths of nuance or specific usage rules or even multiple wholly distinct meanings depending on the context. So our mission today is really to take 5 of these seemingly simple but surprisingly complex everyday phrases, peel back those layers of confusion, and give you a crystal clear, really deep understanding, make them immediately usable for you.
That's exactly what we're aiming for. Today's deep dive comes from this fascinating set of excerpts we got titled Common English Phrases Explained.
Right.
It's like having a direct line to an expert English teacher who's, ready to unravel these subtle complexities you might bump into. Our goal is to unpack 5 specific phrases, just like that expert teacher would, offering not just definitions, but rigorous, crystal clear explanations and showing how they really work in different real-world scenarios.
How they function.
This is about getting to the heart of what they convey, how they're used, so you can sound more natural, more confident, and, well, frankly, you just feel more comfortable and precise.
And it's not just about memorizing a list. I mean, we'll definitely give you those distinctions. That's essential. But the real value here is something deeper. It's about understanding the why behind the what, spotting the patterns in how English works, connecting these small linguistic pieces to the bigger picture of fluent communication.
Okay.
Think of this as your shortcut to clarity, equipping you to handle those potentially awkward moments when you're just not quite sure if you're using a phrase, exactly right.
So what are these 5 intriguing linguistic nuggets we're going to be carefully cracking open today?
Right.
We're diving into have change.
Okay.
We'll navigate the complexities of distance from a place. Get precise with the second to last. Explore the chameleon-like nature of comes in.
Yes.
And finally, master the essential politeness of I'd like.
Great list. Should be illuminating.
Get ready for some hopefully genuine linguistic revelations.
Let's do it.
All right, let's unpack our first phrase then. Have change. On the surface, it looks so simple, doesn't it?
Deceptively so.
Like, do you possess an alteration? But as anyone who's ever tried to buy a bus ticket somewhere new or maybe pay for something tiny with a big bill knows, this phrase trips people up a lot.
Oh, constantly.
So what does have change really mean in its common everyday use? And, why is it so often misunderstood?
Well, what's really interesting here, and it tells you a lot about how practical language works, is that have change in its most common daily use almost exclusively refers to having small denominations of currency.
Okay. Just money.
Just money. We're talking about coins, mostly, or maybe smaller bills, specifically for facilitating a transaction. Like when you need to break a larger bill,
Right.
It's about the physical money itself, the tangible coins, not some abstract idea of transformation. The real insight is how English compresses this quite complex transactional needing smaller money for a specific purpose into such a short phrase.
Like a code.
Exactly. It's almost coded. It's a testament to how language evolves for commerce, making change not just any currency, but currency that's fit for purpose right then and there.
So just to be clear, it's never about did you have change in your opinion about the movie? That's totally different.
Totally, completely different. That's a different beast altogether. The key distinction is the verb have, meaning possess or available, paired with change as a noun, specifically coinage or small bills.
Got it.
That grammatical structure separates it completely from to change something, the verb, meaning alter or modify, or to undergo change, meaning a transformation. When you hear have change in a shop or, at a till, your brain should immediately think coins, cash registers.
Okay. Rattling coins.
Precisely. It's a beautifully concise way of asking, do you have the necessary smaller money to complete this exchange?
That makes so much sense. I can instantly picture situations where that's crucial. So give us some of those common scenarios where understanding have change is just essential for daily life.
Sure. The most frequent one is definitely transactional. Imagine you're at a market, maybe a small shop, and you hand over a $20 bill for something that costs $2.
Right. Big bill, small item.
Exactly. The vendor needs to give you $18 back. They might lean in and ask, do you have change for a 20?
Okay.
They're not asking if you've altered the note. They're asking if you have smaller money, a 5, a 10, some ones that makes it easier for them to give you the correct amount without emptying their own small change.
So it's often about helping them out too.
Very often. And this directly impacts whether you can even buy something, especially in places that are cash heavy.
Yeah.
Small businesses, some public transport, old vending machines.
Oh, that clicks perfectly. I remember being in Southeast Asia once, only had large bills. Every time I tried to buy a small drink or something, the cashier just gave this resigned head shake.
Yep.
I didn't really get why then. They probably didn't have change. It felt like a language barrier, but it was really about the cash itself.
Exactly. Your experience is a textbook example. Another common situation is when you don't have the coins. You're at a parking meter, maybe an old vending machine, only takes exact change.
Right. The worst.
And you'd explain, sorry, I don't have change for the meter. You're clearly stating you lack the necessary coins. Very direct.
Okay.
And then there's a slightly less common nuance, which the source material kind of hints at, about receiving change back. A cashier might, hypothetically, ask, did you want to have change or the exact amount?
Interesting.
Now, give change is more common from their side, but this phrasing focuses on your eventual possession of the change. Do you prefer to get the coins back or maybe round up?
Ah, I see.
It all comes back to the physical possession of smaller currency.
I can't even count the times I've seen people, been that person frantically digging in pockets at a machine, wishing they understood this better.
We've all been there.
It's such a specific, useful bit of language for just getting through the day sometimes.
And that's where the common pitfalls lie. The biggest, like we said, is confusing the noun change money with the verb to change, alter.
Right. Context is king.
Context is absolutely everything here. When you hear have change, in like 99% of daily chat, it's about money. You also need to watch out for idioms that use change differently.
Right.
Like to have a change of heart. It means altering your opinion, right? It uses change, but the structure, the off heart, tells you immediately it's not about money. Our focus, based on the source, is strictly the monetary meaning of have change.
Okay, good clarification. So considering all these nuances, what does really mastering this phrase mean for, someone navigating a new place or just trying to buy stuff confidently?
It means precision saves you from awkwardness and, crucially, from miscommunication. That can actually mess up your day.
Yeah, like missing a bus.
Exactly. Understanding, do you have change, or being able to say, I don't have change, can prevent missed buses, unpaid parking, frustrating waits in shops. It's about being clear and concise in those everyday money interactions, which are often your first points of contact in a new place. It's a fundamental building block for just, handling your business smoothly.
That's a perfect way to put it. Okay, from the practicalities of money, let's shift focus. Let's talk about space. Our next phrase, distance from a place.
Okay.
Seems descriptive enough, but how do we use it accurately, effectively? To convey precise spatial info, it hides its own little quirks, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Distance from a place isn't just descriptive. It's a meticulously precise way of defining spatial measurement. It quantifies the separation between 2 points, but with the specific, unambiguous emphasis on the origin.
The starting point.
Exactly. Distance is the noun, the measurement. From is the crucial bit, the preposition acting as the anchor, indicating the origin. And a place is your reference point, the anchor from which you measure. It's foundational for navigation, logistics, planning, even abstract descriptions. It shows how English really likes to clearly define the starting point in spatial terms.
So it's not just how far is it, it's more structured, clearly says where you're starting from.
Precisely.
Give us some practical scenarios where this exact structure, this phrasing, gives that invaluable clarity.
Certainly. In geography or travel, you might ask, what's the distance from a place like, say, London to Paris? You're clearly setting London as the origin, essential for travel planning, maps, logistics, or more locally, the restaurant is just a short distance from a place the library, maybe, just around the corner. Here, the place is your familiar reference point, indicating closeness relative to that known spot.
I'm picturing trying to give directions over the phone. Instead of saying, it's like not far from that big shop, using this feels much clearer.
Yes. That lack of a precise reference point is often where directions fall apart.
Definitely. I've gotten lost because of vague directions like that.
We all have. And while the core use is geographical, the phrase's structure is strong enough for metaphors too. If a place can mean a state or condition,
Ah, interesting.
you could hear someone say, sometimes you need to create some emotional distance from a place of conflict.
Okay, I see that.
It's not physical miles, obviously, but the core concept, separating from an origin point, in this case a bad situation, it still holds. Same structure, non-physical context. Shows how adaptable the pattern is.
That's where it gets really interesting, the versatility of it.
It really is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
And when you look at the mechanics, prepositions are key. From sets the origin, but you also have to distance to a place, indicating destination.
Right.
And distance between two places, measuring separation of two defined points. Understanding how from anchors the origin is crucial for precision.
Okay.
Then, units of measurement. Context dictates these. Miles, kilometers, blocks, but also time.
Time. How so?
You might hear, it's a 10-minute distance from a place like my office, meaning walking or driving time, not fixed mileage.
Ah, okay. That's common.
Very common. And then modifiers, short distance, long distance, walking distance, considerable distance. These add descriptive nuance, give you a better feel for the scale.
So how does knowing all this help us, the listeners, beyond just asking for directions better? What's the bigger takeaway?
Understanding how to articulate distance from a place just allows for much clearer, less ambiguous communication whenever space or relative position is involved.
Right.
Whether it's logistics, travel plans, describing a room layout, or even, like we touched on, emotional separation. This phrase is a building block.
A foundation.
Exactly. A foundation for more complex spatial descriptions. It empowers you to be precise, unambiguous, ensuring whoever you're talking to gets the spatial relationship you're describing instantly. It's fundamental for articulate English.
That's a really powerful insight, how a simple phrase underpins so much spatial understanding. Okay, speaking of precision, let's shift from space to sequence. Numerical order, maybe.
Yeah.
Our next phrase, the second to last. Seems incredibly simple, but why is it so common? What does it convey so precisely?
The second to last is a highly precise ordinal indicator, and its commonness in English really highlights our language's preference for clarity in sequencing things.
Okay.
It means the item, position, event, whatever, that comes immediately before the final one. In any sequence, its value, its strength is its absolute clarity, specificity.
No wiggle room.
Zero wiggle room.
Hmm.
It removes any ambiguity about where something falls. In a list, a race, a queue, a timeline, you know exactly where you are relative to the end. No misinterpretation possible.
That makes perfect sense. No guessing, no almost there or around the end. So what are some scenarios where this exact phrasing is just invaluable for clear communication?
Oh, it's incredibly versatile. Think lists or rankings. She finished the second to last in the race, right before the very last runner. Instantly conveys her exact position, no doubt.
Clear.
In events or timelines, for planning. The agenda shows the budget review is the second to last item before we adjourn. You know precisely when that key discussion happens.
Okay. Useful for meetings?
Definitely, even in books or films, for structure. In the series, my favorite character died in the second to last chapter, just before the finale. It pins down that crucial narrative point.
Builds tension, maybe?
Yeah, it can, yeah. And in sports, the team scored in the second to last minute. A commentator might yell that. It precisely locates that decisive moment in time.
I really appreciate that precision. I remember trying to find an apartment once. Instructions said, it's on the second floor, almost the top.
Uh-oh. Almost.
Yeah, that almost had me wandering floors, checking doors. If they just said the second to last floor, it would save me so much time and frustration.
That's a perfect illustration of why this phrase is so good.
Yeah.
Now, there is a more formal synonym, penultimate.
Right, I've heard that.
Means exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But the second to last is the common everyday phrase you'll actually hear and use most often.
So penultimate is more for, like, writing.
Yeah, maybe an academic paper, a very formal speech.
Yeah.
But talking about a book, a race, giving instructions, you use the second to last.
Okay.
And that brings us back to clarity. Phrases like almost last or near the end, they're just vague. Near the end could be third last, fourth last. Who knows?
Right, ambiguous.
The second to last completely kills that ambiguity. Tells you exactly where you are. No guesswork.
So why is this level of precision, this lack of ambiguity, so important for communication, especially if you're learning English?
Because clarity prevents mistakes. It stops misunderstandings. It builds confidence. When you use the second to last, your audience gets the exact order immediately.
Okay.
That's vital for instructions, reports, even just telling a story where sequence matters.
Yeah.
It builds confidence in your ability to be precise and trust in the information you're giving.
Yeah.
Because it's so unambiguous.
Yeah.
It's a small phrase, but it really packs a punch. Communicative efficiency.
Absolutely. Okay, from precise ordering, let's pivot to a phrase that's a real chameleon. It has this fascinating array of meanings depending on context. Let's dive into comes in.
Comes in, yes.
Yeah.
A textbook example of English flexibility, especially with phrasal verbs.
Phrasal verbs, right? The tricky ones.
They can be. It's a verb come plus a preposition or adverb in. And these combinations are notoriously rich. They also have multiple distinct meanings that depend entirely on the surrounding words, the situation.
Okay.
Comes in can mean physical entry, arrival, availability of a product in a certain form, or even the role something plays. It's also a perfect example of polysemy.
Poly what?
Polysemy, where one word or phrase, like comes in, takes on multiple related but distinct meanings. It highlights the efficiency of phrasal verbs using few words, relying heavily on context.
So how do we as listeners tell these meanings apart? It often feels like a riddle. What are the clues?
It really is about laser focus on what comes immediately after it comes in and the overall situation. Let's break down the main meanings. First, physical entry or arrival.
Okay, the literal one.
Pretty much. To enter a place or arrive, the cat comes in through the back door every evening. In clearly means movement into a space.
Right.
Or in business. When does the new shipment of books come in? Meaning, when do the goods arrive, enter the warehouse or shop? Okay, makes sense. Context clues here are usually a place or a time reference right after the phrase.
Got it. Physical movement. What's next?
Next is availability, form, or size. How something is presented, what options exist. Very common in retail.
Shopping.
Exactly. A salesperson might say, this dress comes in 3 different colors, red, blue, green.
Mm-hmm.
Or the new phone comes in 2 storage sizes. It indicates the variations available for purchase.
Okay.
Context clues here are descriptors. Color, size, material, configuration, stuff like that.
Right, like does this come in wool? Okay, yeah. Very common.
Super common. And finally, a more abstract meaning, but just as common, playing a role or being a factor.
Okay, how does that work?
It means to be involved, become relevant, play a part in a situation or decision. Classic example. That's where your expertise comes in. It doesn't mean your expertise physically enters. It means your knowledge becomes relevant, useful, crucial at that point.
Okay, I see.
Another one. The cost comes in as a major factor when deciding. The cost enters the decision process as an important element. Context clues here are often abstract things.
Yeah.
Quality, an idea, a skill, an influencing element.
Wow. That's where it gets really fascinating. One simple phrase. Such different jobs. Cat coming in, expertise coming in. Linguistic chameleon, indeed.
And this really shows the power and, the complexity of phrasal verbs in English. They're so common because they often convey nuance more briefly than single words can.
Right. Efficient.
Very efficient. They add richness, idiomatic flavor, make language sound natural.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, their multiple meanings are a challenge for learners. Comes in is just one. Go out, take off.
Oh, yeah. Take off has loads of meanings.
Exactly. Plane taking off, removing clothes, something becoming popular. They all follow this pattern. Multiple meanings. Context is key.
So how can we best approach mastering these phrasal verbs like comes in? It feels like memorizing a whole separate dictionary sometimes.
The essential key, really, is deep contextual understanding. Don't just memorize lists in isolation. That's not very effective.
Okay.
Instead, when you encounter one, really pay attention to the words around it, the sentence structure, the overall situation.
Look for the clues.
Look for the clues. Is it followed by a place, a color, an abstract idea? Those clues are your best guide. The more you read and listen to real English, actively looking for these patterns, the more intuitive it becomes.
Practice and exposure.
Exactly. Mastering them is a huge step towards sounding much more natural, because native speakers use them constantly, often without even thinking about it.
That's incredibly helpful advice. Focus on context. Okay, from the complexities of phrasal verbs, let's turn to a phrase that's all about politeness, expressing desire. Let's talk about I'd like.
I'd like, yes. An absolute cornerstone of polite English. You use this constantly in daily interactions.
Right. Seems basic, but important.
Hugely important. It's a contraction, of course, of I would like. And it's the most polite, courteous, common way to express a desire, a preference, or make a request.
The would makes it polite.
Exactly. The would is a powerful linguistic softener. It turns a potentially direct, even demanding statement into something more hypothetical, less imposing. It's not, I want this now. It's more like, this is something I'd find agreeable, if it's okay with you. That modal verb would makes it less direct, much more courteous than just, I want.
Okay.
And beyond just politeness, I'd like, actually reveals something cultural about English-speaking places, a preference for indirectness when expressing desire, especially in service situations.
Interesting.
It's about social harmony, offering choice, not just imposing your will. That's a powerful cultural insight baked right into the grammar.
So it really isn't just a fancier way of saying I want. The social impact is truly different.
A truly profound difference. Let's compare them directly. I want often sounds direct, demanding, even impolite, especially with strangers, in shops, formal settings.
Right. Like barking an order.
Exactly. Imagine walking into a cafe and saying, I want coffee. It sounds abrupt. Rude, maybe.
Yeah, not good.
Now contrast that. I'd like a coffee, please. The difference is huge, isn't it?
Palpable. Yeah.
I'd like implies preference without demanding. It's far more socially acceptable, versatile, and frankly, expected in almost any interaction where you're asking for something. It shows respect.
That clicks immediately. So give us some scenarios where using I'd like is just essential, where the difference really counts.
Pretty much anywhere you're interacting with someone, providing a service,
Yeah.
or making any kind of request, really. For instance, ordering in a restaurant or cafe. Instead of, I want the pasta, it's always, I'd like the pasta, please.
Ooh.
Or I'd like a coffee. That's the universal standard.
Okay. Restaurants, cafes, got it.
Equally vital when making a request or inquiry. I'd like to ask a question about the report, if you have a moment. It softens the approach, makes it easier for them to say yes.
Right. Less demanding.
You also use it for expressing a wish or aspiration. I'd like to travel to Japan someday.
Yeah.
Or I'd like to see that movie, for hopes and preferences.
Okay.
And finally, it's brilliant for declining politely. You might say, I'd like to, but I'm afraid I can't make the party.
Ah, that's clever.
The I'd like to softens the no. It implies regret, maintains courtesy even when saying no. It's incredibly versatile.
That last one, declining, is a fantastic example. You know, I remember being in Rome years ago, trying to be polite, used a direct translation of I want for a cappuccino.
Oh, dear.
The server just gave me this look, utterly bewildered, almost offended. If only I'd known I'd like then, would save some awkwardness.
Yes, your experience is perfect. It illustrates the point exactly, and that leads to the broader cultural significance of politeness in English-speaking cultures.
Right. It's a big deal.
It really is. In many contexts, transactional, professional, formal directness without softening can seem aggressive or rude. I'd like is a key softener. It connects to all those other polite markers. Please, thank you modals like could I, may I, would you mind?
Yeah.
These aren't just optional extras. They're fundamental for smooth, socially appropriate communication in English. They grease the wheels of interaction.
So mastering I'd like, what does that really mean for someone aiming for fluent, socially clued in English? Is there ever a time it's too formal, like with close friends? Or is it always the safe bet?
That's a great question, actually. Pushing the boundaries. While I'd like is almost always safe and polite, for very casual settings with close friends or family, I want might pop up without sounding bad.
Okay.
Especially if the tone is warm, context informal, like I want another slice of pizza. Among friends is probably fine.
Right.
But even then, I'd like is never wrong. It's never too formal, really. It's always a good, safe choice. So to answer your bigger question, mastering I'd like isn't just vocabulary. It's cultural fluency. It shows you understand and respect the social norms. Choosing I'd like over I want signals politeness, consideration. It makes your interactions smoother, more positive, helps build rapport. Whether ordering food or asking for something important.
Yeah.
Small phrasing change, massive return in communication quality and perception.
We've really covered some ground today. Took a deep dive into these 5 phrases that look simple, but really aren't always.
Definitely.
Started with the money stuff, have change,
Right.
navigated the spatial precision of distance from a place,
Right.
honed in on the exactness of the second to last,
Yep.
explored that chameleon, comes in,
The phrasal verb, yes.
and finally looked at the essential politeness and cultural weight of "I'd like."
And then what we hope you, listening, have taken away is this deep understanding that context, nuance, even just one word choice can dramatically change meaning and perception.
Yeah.
These aren't just isolated words. They're precise tools, building blocks for clarity and connection in your everyday interactions.
We really encourage you now to actively listen for these phrases. As you go about your day, in conversations, reading, watching things, you'll start noticing them everywhere.
Pay attention.
And now, armed with these insights, you'll hopefully get their precise meaning, their subtle implications and context. It can really transform comprehension.
And then take the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Try using them yourself. Maybe focus on one phrase a day. Or pick one you feel good about and consciously try to use it.
Yeah, experiment.
Observe how it changes things, how people respond, how it clarifies your message. It's really powerful to feel that precision and confidence when you speak.
Definitely. You know, considering how much hidden depth we found in just these 5 simple phrases, it makes you wonder, what other common expressions might we all be using without fully getting their hidden depths, their cultural backstory, their real linguistic power?
Exactly. It does make you think, doesn't it?
It really does. Puts everyday language in a new light.
And that's maybe the final thought. True mastery of a language isn't just knowing lots of words or complex grammar. It's truly understanding the profound power, the subtle beauty, the social fabric woven into the words we use most often. Every common phrase holds potentially a universe of meaning waiting to be explored. And sometimes those everyday expressions are the richest places to find real linguistic understanding and connection.